Hi, this is Julie with Beadaholique, and today I want to show you how to use these great new screw and nut sets by Nunn Design. And I'm going to show you how to use them in the form of making an earring. I always find it a little easier to learn when you're making a project. So this is going to be the earring that we make, and you can see I've used a screw here and a nut on the back side. And the tools you're going to need is you're going to need some way, if your items don't already have a hole punch in them, you'll need some way of punching a hole. I have this 2-hole punch right here, and it's got two sizes. It has a 2.3 millimeter hole that it punches on one side, and it has a 1.6 millimeter hole on the other. I'm going to use a smaller hole. I'm going to do the 1.6. You're going to need some type of cutter to cut the back side of the screw, and I've just got a nice pair of flush cutters right here. And then for me, I need to know where to punch my hole, so I have a pen. If you were doing a traditional rivet, you would need a bench block and a hammer, and that's what's so great about these screws and nuts is you don't need some of those more metalsmithing type tools. So to begin, to make this particular project, I want to layer my pretty little flower stamping on top of my back blank here, my little pendant blank. And to do so, you can see I've got it right where I want it. And I'm going to now punch a hole in the flower to begin with. This happens to be a really easy thing to punch a hole in because it's got a little divot right there. So I'm just going to place my little flower into the area where I can screw the punch down. And notice because I've got that little divot, I can kind of make sure that that's in there and is centered before I actually punch. And to punch, you just twist the handle clockwise, and it does not take a lot of strength at all. And to unscrew, to release it, you just go counterclockwise. So now I've got a hole in my flower. And what I then am going to do is I'm going to line it up with my other earring that I've already created because I want them to be even. And that looks about even to me. So I'm going to take my pen, hold it in place, and now to make sure I can see my mark, I'm going to swirl it just a little bit because that's going to be covered. And it could be really hard to see, but I do see this right there. If you want to use a Sharpie marker or something, you can do that. It might be a little easier to see. So that's right there, and that's going to be perfect. So now I'm going to take this piece, and really you have to just kind of be careful and look at this. It can be a little easier to screw down the tip so that's almost ready to touch the blank. And then scoot it on in. And it's probably hard to see on camera, but I am just going to grip it, but I'm not going to punch it. But grip it enough that I can move it around so I can see that I'm right on my dot. Okay. That looks good to me. And I'm going to punch through just like that. It was very easy to do. Now to connect the two pieces together, I'm going to take a screw, put it through the flower, and also through my blank. And now we want to screw the nut onto the back. And we're just going to screw it down. Now you can see I'm actually pressing the two pieces together and the screw. So I'm trying to hold the actual screw steady as I wind this down. And you want to make it as tight as possible. If you have a pair of pliers, you can also grip it with a pair of pliers. But I actually am able to do it pretty tightly with just my fingers. You can see that's on there, that's not rotating. So then all you need to do is take your pair of flush cutters, line it up so you're right on top of the nut, and just, you could probably hear that went flying across my room. So just make sure that you're pointing away from your eyes or that you're wearing eye protection, and just make sure it's not going to go in a direction where it could hurt anyone or anything. And make sure, of course, you pick it up after you finish this project. So to attach the earring hook, I've got this kidney wire here. I am just going to slide it through and let it rest down at the bottom in that little well. And I have finished my pair of earrings, and it's great because they look riveted together. It's not glued in place. It's very secure, and I haven't had to use a hammer or metal smithing tools or even glue. One quick tip is if you are making a piece of jewelry that you think is going to get a lot of wear, like a bracelet or a ring, I would suggest dabbing the nut part with just a little bit of glue. You can use like a GS Hypo Cement, you can use a little E6000, just some glue that will help to really secure that nut in place if you do feel like it's going to get a lot of wear. I think with these earrings here, it'll be totally fine without the glue, but if you are doing a piece like a bracelet or a ring, go ahead and take that extra precaution of just adding a dab of glue.